We're going to try just to quickly. A few halachot of Hilchot Chanuka. So where should we start from? Okay. Why is it called Mitzvah Chanukah? What is Chanukah?
Festival of Light.
Festival of Light, thank you. So that ties in exactly to the Shiur, because that's what we're supposed to be in the darkness, to see the light, and that's to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu through the night. And what happened at the times of the Beit HaMikdash, even when we had the Beit HaMikdash, but the Yevanim, the Greeks, they said, listen, we don't want to do the mitzvot. Just be like us, be like Greeks. You know, we have Olympics, we have games, we have fun stuff. Forget all your Torah, there's no Kedusha. And a lot of Jews, they fell for it. And they went on to make everything tameh. There was no purity, they just made everything impure. How do you make something impure? You touch it to something which is impure, it becomes impure. Pure is something which is protected. That is what it's pure. And when Jews was told to stop learning Torah and keeping Shabbat and the mitzvot, so they fought for it. The Maccabim, they had to fight with bitachon in Hashem, Hashem would help them. And when they went in to try and light the menorah, because every day there was a menorah in Beit HaMikdash, they didn't find any oil, which was pure. They found a lot of oil, but nothing which was pure. And they wanted to do the mitzvah be'idur. And then there was another nest that they found one pach shemen, and that miracle was that it lasted, instead of 1 day, lasted for 8 days. And it actually took them 8 days to make more or shemen zayt, to go to the place where they have the olives, special fresh olives, and you can only take first drops from the olive for the menorah. And then every year on this period of time of Chanukah, it's a time when we retell the miracles of Chanukah, and it's a time for miracles, for seeing Hashem also in the darkness. And everyone loves the Chag of Chanukah. The main mitzvah we have is the brachot of the menorah, and another mitzvah we have is brachot of Halel. Two main mitzvot. Okay, make sure that you do this mitzvot every day properly. Halel has to be done by simcha. When you say Halel in the morning, every day, don't miss Halel. If you do it with minyan, do it with minyan. Do it at home, you do it with the bracha. No, there's no musaf on Chanukah, but there's Halel every single day.
Full Halel.
Full Halel. It's the only time we say full Halel with a bracha, full Halel. Rosh Chodesh, we only have half Halel. In Chagim, only on some days we have full Halel. Sukkot, we have full Halel. Pesach, we don't have full Halel.
Question.
Yes.
In Birkat Hamazon,
yes, we add.
On Rosh Chodesh and Shabbat, we say Migdol Yeshuot at the end.
Yes.
Instead of Magdil. On Chanukah, what do we say?
So good. So there we say Magdil because we don't say Musaf. The rule is we only say Migdal when it's Musaf. That means Rosh Chodesh or Shabbat. Doesn't have to be both. Or Shabbat or Rosh Chodesh. We say
on the day, not on the night before, right? Oh.
What do you mean the night before? Erev Shabbat, yeah. Erev Rosh Chodesh.
But Friday night you say Magdil or Migdol?
No, also Migdol. Because it's the part of the day, Shabbat. You say the Musaf in the morning, but the day starts to refine. It's just a siman for the Holy day.
Same for Rosh Chodesh.
Same for the Rosh Chodesh as well. So, okay, so talking about Shabbat and Rosh Chodesh. The two mitzvot on Chanukah is lighting the menorah. You want to make sure you do that the best way you can. And Halel. There is no mitzvah to eat donuts. You're allowed to eat donuts. Okay? I don't know how healthy they are.
No, you do.
If you enjoy it, it's fun.
No, it's not donuts. It's oily stuff.
It's oily stuff. Oh, okay, so very good. So what is the mitzvah to eat? What's the minhag? So let me just speak about that. Before we talk about minhag, we have to understand in Judaism, we have there's things which is not allowed, which is things which is allowed, mutar. There's things which is minhag, and there's mitzvah and halacha. It's different things. Okay, let's not get mixed up and clear which one is which. So eating on Shabbat, it's mitzvah to eat Sudot Shabbat. Or Yom Tov, there's mitzvah of Simcha and Sudot Shabbat. Purim, there's mitzvah Sudot Purim. Chanukah, there's no mitzvah of Suda. You're allowed to eat on Chanukah. You can eat whatever you want on Chanukah. But there's no mitzvah to eat. And apart from Shabbat. Says Ben Ish Chai, not only should eat on Shabbat, you should eat extra on Shabbat Chanukah. So normal Shabbat, what you make, this Shabbat Chanukah or next Shabbat, you add extra. So make sure you go shopping for 5 good stuff.
Rosh
Not only
Chodesh,
for Shabbat Chanukah, but also Rosh Chodesh.
Rosh Chanuka.
Every Rosh Chodesh,
I know, yeah.
mitzvah to be Mosif, but especially Rosh Chodesh Chanukah is 2 times. Now, if you want to do a Chanukah party at home or in shul, it's good to do it on Rosh Chodesh Chanukah or on Shabbat, because then you got the mitzvah of the Seudah. Now, that is mitzvah. Minhag, not mitzvah, minhag, is that we eat on Chanukah oily foods, like Yaakov said, because of the miracle that happened with oil. And also milky foods. Why milky foods?
Because she gave the general.
Exactly, because of Yodit, because of the nest which happened with Yodit, she gave milky food. Okay, so that is where food is concerned. We always like to start off with the food. So again, that is the minhag: milky foods, oily foods, and you can, if you want to diet, you don't like it, you don't have to eat it. Apart from Shabbat and Rosh Chodesh, do a Suda. And the minhag is we always do some kind of gathering, either in synagogue or family, lehodot, to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the whole part of Chanukah, what it's about. It's about recognizing HaKadosh Baruch Hu and thanking Him. You know, Baruch Hashem, you have a house. Okay, I want to thank Hashem for a house. I have a family. I thank Hashem for my family. I have a business. I have a job. I thank Hashem. I have my house for what I have, that I can come and join the shiur and listen to shiur Torah. Thank Hashem. This is what the days of Chanukah is about. Now, what about Halacha? So the 2 mitzvot is a halal. What about women? Do they have a mitzvah of halal?
No.
No?
Because they're not obligated to pray.
Very good. Are they allowed to pray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the bracha?
With the bracha or without bracha?
I don't know.
Oh, you're doing good so far. You got 2 out of 2.
Don't know.
With the bracha or without bracha?
With.
I'm guessing with.
With.
So it's very important. Bracha is for Sephardi women, don't make a bracha. For Ashkenazim, they do, but Sephardim, we don't make a bracha. It's a mitzvah shesman grama, and women, they're allowed to say the halal, but not with the bracha. It's a Sephardic bracha, we don't say, but men with the bracha, and if they want, they can say. What about lighting the menorah? Women light the menorah?
Instead of the husband, or
If
what?
they can do kiddush, they can light
Women can light the menorah if the husband is absent or cannot do it.
Okay, so the women are obligated in mitzvah of Chanukah because gam haim hayu b'oto hanes. If they're married, then the husband lights for them. If it's Sephardi, Ashkenazim, they light their own menorah, but if the husband is not at home, then she lights, or she can wait for him to come and light with him. If she's single, what does she do?
She lights it herself.
With a bracha or without a bracha?
With.
Confident, very good, yeah. With. What's the difference? Why with Chanukah menorah she lights with the bracha, and halal she says without bracha?
Because she's not obligated to pray.
Very good, excellent, Joe. She's not obligated to pray, and she does not obligation if there's no praying for her. But mitzvah of Chanukah, she's obligated in the mitzvah of Chanukah. There's another halacha. What are you allowed to do and not allowed to do when the candles are lighting?
Repeat the question, please.
Or maybe how long should they need to be lighting for?
Half an hour.
Half an hour. And on Erev Shabbat?
Half an hour after Tzedek Kochanim, after Shabbat comes.
So usually we bring in Shabbat early, sometimes an hour before nightfall. So you want to make sure the candles are an hour and a half long, or at least they need to be half an hour into darkness after Tzedek Kochanim. That's the time for, according to Morocco minhag, Sephardi minhag, and some Ashkenazim minhag also to light the Tzedek Kochanim. Sorry?
So when do we light?
When is the best time to light? Okay, so let's talk about that. Best time to light, and that is our minhag, is Tzedek Kochavim. When is the time of Tzedek Kochavim? When it gets dark. Okay, like the time of Motzei Shabbat. Not the time of Kabbalat Shabbat, Motzei Shabbat. That's the time when the best time to light.
Not 15 minutes after.
Yes. That's the time. From then onwards. That's called Tzedek Kochavim.
And not Tzedek Kochavim by the calendars here, which is like more around when Shabbat comes out, because that's a bit later.
Yeah, I know, but that is Tzedek Kochavim. From then, from 15 minutes onwards, that's already called Tzedek Kochavim for us.
That's the best time to
And we're
light.
like, yeah.
And
Then
and
you get
after
most of the shittas. Sorry?
And after
Repeat.
Arvit.
Oh, after Arvit. So the minhag of Morocco and is to do Tadir v'she'eno Tadir Kodem, first Arvit, and then light. So you want to daven Arvit a bit earlier, and then if you can get in 15 minutes afterwards, I'd never managed to get in exactly 15 minutes, and I pray next to my house. It always takes me like 20 minutes or 20. But if you're ready beforehand, you prepare it. Also, the Ben Ish Chai says there that the women should prepare the nerot. So it's very important to try and be makpid on this mitzvah. Now I say this every year. What is kasher to light the ner Chanukah?
With oil.
With oil. So which
Olive.
oil? Which
Olive.
oil? Which oil is kasher?
Olive?
All the oils, well, all the oils are kosher, but we prefer olive oil.
Very good. So, like Yaakov said, kol hashemanim ksherim. And this is the thing about Halacha Chanukah. Whatever you do is kasher. You can light with sunflower oil. You can light with wax candle. You can light with paraffin. You can light any oils, is kasher. But the best is olive oil. And we want to use olive oil. And there's a few deep reasons up here for that. And Pi Halacha. Also Shulchan Aruch says this as well. Because Shemen Zayit is the best oil, it's clear, it's nice. Also, that was the Shemen, that was the Nes. The Nes was with olive oil. So you want to light with olive oil. And also, another reason up here is that the olives itself brings shikha. Shikha, what does shikha mean? Shikha means forgetting. Forgetfulness.
Forgetfulness.
But specifically shikha b'Torah. And oil helps for zikaron, for memory. And when the whole story of Chanukah was they wanted lashkicham toratecha, they wanted to forget your Torah. And we're doing zecher lanes, we're trying to remember the nes. So when we're doing lighting with olive oil, we're remembering that nes that was done with oil. And that's much better the preference than all the other oils, is the Shemen Zayit. We want to be mahadeh with it. So we said we need to light for half an hour into Tzedek Kochavim. Now, what are you allowed to do during the time when the candles are lighting?
Sing.
Sing. You're allowed to sing. What else are you allowed to do?
You can eat donuts and coffee.
You can eat donuts. You can sing. You can eat donuts. You can play with the children. You can play dreidel.
But you cannot do the washing. You cannot.
What you're not allowed to do. Yeah. So not allowed to do is washing. So in fact, it's not accurate, Yaakov, what you said. Not that washing, because you are allowed to do the washing. It's just the women are not allowed.
I'm talking about, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So you can say, darling, you're not allowed to do it. I'll do it for you. That's what you're allowed to say, Yaakov. You don't have to. You can also eat the donuts. But the melacha, this is a point down in Shulchan Aruch. And here's seriously, that the time of the Chanukah is a specialness for the women. And they're not allowed to do any work, which means sewing or any knitting, sewing, laundry. That is all called women's work. And they don't have to work during the time of the half an hour of the lights. After that, if they want to work, let them work. If they don't want to work, it's Chanukah. Yeah, give them time off. But during the time of Chanukah, the half an hour, they're not allowed to work. What about in the kitchen? Are they allowed to make donuts? Or is that called work? Or is that not called work?
That's not work.
That's not work. Yeah, Yaakov said, yeah, definitely in the Moroccan house, making donuts is not called work. No, but you're allowed. Anything which is
donuts for Chanukah, not donuts for.
Yeah, no, for anything. Any cooking she's allowed to do. But it's just that the cleaning, the laundry, and the sewing which they're not allowed to do. And only for the times of the lighting the candles. Other halacha is, are you allowed to light the candles by yourself?
Yeah.
Yes. Or should you wait for your wife and your children and your family?
Ideally.
Yes.
No,
I guess if it's past a specific time.
Yeah, so very good. So when is the time for lighting it? What time are you allowed? So we said from Tzedek Kochavim, from nightfall, not before. If you've done it before, you missed it. Even if you last for 5 hours and you've done it 20 minutes too early, you missed a mitzvah because we go according to the Adlaka. Now, there's a lot of different hidurim about the Adlaka, but the halacha is ma'akev if you do it at night time. What do I want to say? Till when can you light? So עד שתכלה רגל מן השוק, which means as long as there's people walking around in the street and people seeing and people are awake, that's fine. So until 10, 11 o'clock at night, we're still on Zoom, as people are still awake, so that's fine. But late into the night, that's already, you missed the time. So ideally, you should get all the family around. So if you have a member of family not there, especially the first night, try and get everyone there whenever it's 5 o'clock. What time is it, May? I'm not sure. About 5 o'clock time. It gets dark, maybe a bit earlier. Make sure all the family is there and you do a lighting. And it's to publicize the miracle of Chanukah. What else did I want to say, Halacha? Yes, very important. There's different hidurim where you light. So you can light by the window, you can light by the door, you can light on the table, you can light outside by the door. All of them you're yotzei yedei chova. Okay, there's different machloket what's the best hidur. However, there's one thing which is very ma'akev, the halacha, is the lighting. Or two things maybe. You have to do the lighting yourself. Now let me explain what this means. If you have a wick and you're lighting the wick, so fire travels on its own. Okay, now if you bring it close enough, it will get hot and it will jump and it will light. That's not called you lighting it. When you need to light it, you need to hold the flame to the wick until most of it lights up. That's called you lighting it. If you just like touch it, quick touch, it will after a second light up itself, or a split second of a second. So the hadlaka has to be that you touching it and rov ptila. You have to be careful to do that, especially the first one. Now, where do you stand when you light? The left, the right, the left. No. So you are standing and you're facing the menorah, and the menorah is on your right. Let's do everything right, okay? You're facing the menorah is on your right. You light it with your right hand, okay? And you lean out and you light the first candle, if it's the first night. And then if it's the second night, then you can move to your right and you write the second one afterwards. So everything is right. The menorah is on your right, you're right with your right hand, and you move towards your right. So when you set up your candles, you set them up on the right, on the far right, and then you add one every day. But you light the new one and then you move right. Okay, so that is the way to do it. You're standing before you, it's on your right hand side, you light with your right hand. On the far right, you put the candle, and then you put the new one next to it, and you light the new one first, and then you move to the right. Okay, so I especially didn't use any word left in the whole thing, but let's just try easier to remember. Again, you light the shamash, and then you light the other candles. If one blows out, you use the shamash to light the other ones. The other thing which is you're not allowed to do is once you've lit in the menorah, you do not move it. It stays where it is. Adlaka oseh mitzvah, and you're not allowed to move it. You can't say, okay, let's move it on the table, let's move into the kitchen, let's put it by the window, put it by the door. And the same thing is with Nerot Shabbat. Nerot Shabbat is Adlaka oseh mitzvah, and you have to put it in the makom where it's going to be. Those are the two things, not to move it, and to make sure that you lit it properly, the wick. Everything else is a hidur. It's hidur with shemen zayit, it's hidur to put it by the window, hidur by the door, a sod. I do both, also by the window that can see it from the street and see it from home, and also by my door and everything. So I don't know if anyone lights outside in England. But everything is kosher. Those two things you have to make sure you do. And I want to wish everybody a happy Chanukah, and I hope you all enjoyed the shiur tonight.
Thank you.
You do lighting and you thank Hashem for all the mitzvot, and I want to wish everybody that we zochet to see nisim beniflaot in the time of Chanukah.
Amen.
מה שעשה ניסים לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה.
Amen. Amen.
Wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for joining the shiur.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you yourself. Please come again next week. Next week, B'ezrat Hashem, do you want to make another shiur on Wednesday night or Thursday night? Is there any difference for anyone?
I don't mind.
Because Thursday is the first night of Chanukah. So I don't know if you want to do
Stick to Wednesday.
make it Wednesday.
Yeah.
Is that good for everybody? Okay. So B'ezrat Hashem, Wednesday next week. Look forward to see you. Okay. Shabbat
Thank
Shalom.
you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.